on the Edge.
Okay, welcome back to Boxing on the Edge. Tomorrow night, we have King Gabriel Rosado versus Jaime Munguia. Now, this is a fantastic fight. I'm so excited about this. It crept up on me this week, I think, with all the stuff going on with Canelo fight and whatnot. And all of a sudden, it's here tomorrow night on DAZN. I posted about this a couple of months ago, and I was like, wow, this is a great fight. And it is a great fight stylistically. King Gabriel Rosado, he might be one of the more unfortunate fighters in our era. He's been on the wrong end of so many controversial decision losses. I'm not saying they were all correct, but you know, sometimes you'd like to see a fighter get one or two, and I can't remember him getting one. And he fights his heart out. He's from Philadelphia. He brings that true warrior spirit, and he always wants to win. He comes in shape, and he never stops trying to win. And this is what makes that fight so intriguing as well. Not to mention, he always, you know, he doesn't like to take punches, but he does take a lot of punches. So, and the same for Munguia, which is why this is going to be a pretty exciting fight while it lasts. I'm not saying it's going to go early, but I do think someone's going to get knocked out, and it's probably going to be Rosado. He's the veteran at this stage. He's been through a lot. He's had a lot of wars. He tends to get cut, or he has been cut quite a few times in the past. He gets dropped quite a few times. If you go down his box rec, it's like literally every fight he's had, it's like Rosado down in the second, Rosado cut, you know, split decision lost, opponent test positive for PEDs, like Rosado down, cut. It's like, I mean, that just speaks volumes to him as a fighter, really. And he's going to be ready, he's going to be prepared, and he's going to bring it tomorrow. He's going to, like, in my opinion, in terms of strategy, he can box a little bit, you know, he really can. But he does like to get dragged into a fight, which is where I think it could all go wrong. So Rosado kind of needs to give Munguia angles, just use his IQ. He does have a bit of IQ, to be honest with you. That's how he stopped that Markuziev with a tremendous punch that sort of came out of nowhere, even though he was slowly setting it up in the first round. But he smoked that dude and put himself back in the frame. And now he's one win away from being basically a world title shot again, I think. I don't know how the rankings work, but he's pushed himself back into the position and he's made himself relevant. And if he wins tomorrow night, he'll be relevant again, which is amazing, because he's a veteran. He's been in the sport a long time, and he's given the sport a lot. But he does have his work cut out. Munguia is very strong, young. He's got the youth on his side. He's got the power. He's a physically strong man, it looks like, and he can punch a bit. So Rosado's probably going to get dragged into some kind of fight at some stage. It's just inevitable, you know. He almost can't help himself. So we'll be interested to see how it goes down. I do think Munguia will put the pressure on, and Munguia is a tremendous body puncher, and he's actually extremely relaxed, can fight on the inside, can box a little bit. He is more of a puncher boxer. He does choose to sort of try and punch and, you know, let his hands go in dramatic fashion, rather than, he's not the brightest of fighters yet, but what he lacks in IQ, he makes up for in just sheer warriorness, if that's even a word. But that's why when you put two warriors in the ring together that like to fight and they get dragged in, then, you know, it's almost inevitable you're going to get a good fight. So I expect Munguia to put the pressure on and walk him down and box a little bit, but there's going to be some exchanges for sure. And I do think the body work that Munguia is going to do could be the difference in this fight. Excuse me. But we'll see. Rosado, he needs to stick to boxing. He needs to move and needs to create those angles. Munguia does not keep his head off the center. He keeps his head on the center line. He doesn't get out of the way after throwing his punches. He sort of stays in the pocket, so he's there to be hit. Rosado's a little better at getting out of the way, but when you're thinking offense all the time, it's hard to think defense if you're just about that business of hurting someone. So it is very interesting. I don't usually want fighters to win. I just enjoy the spectacle, but there's a part of me that really wants Rosado to win. I think he just has given so much to the sport, and you know, he's just a consummate professional. Always shows up, always gives his heart, always tries to win, and always takes on the best. You know, he's always fought the top guys, or try to. You know, he never shies away from that, and you got to give him credit for that. So I do see this being a stoppage. I do see Munguia working the body quite aggressively and probably dropping Rosado at some point, in like maybe early on. And then I think eventually in the mid to late rounds, I think Munguia will be a little bit too much. We know Rosado's been stopped a few times before, but by you know, beasts really. Golovkin stopped him. I know Angulo stopped him way back as well, and there was, I forget the other two, but Rosado is definitely susceptible, and I think he's gonna fight really well, really hard, but he's just gonna probably find himself in some deep water in the mid to late rounds, and maybe even from a cut as well. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section. If you have a prediction or anything like that. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon.